Thanks for tuning in to TellyCast. Before you listen to the show, I wanted to let you know about TellyCast's new sister brand, The Drop. The Drop is a free weekly newsletter and website dedicated to the digital-first content business. Every Friday, we feature a roundup of the week's key news stories in the sector, plus an exclusive feature interview with one of the leaders in the creator economy. So, for news and insights into the new wave of social-first entertainment, sign up for free at dropmedia.co.uk. That's dropmedia.co.uk.
TellyCast.
Hi, I'm Justin Crosby, and welcome to another TellyCast. It's that time of year for many in the TV industry to start turning their minds to Cannes, as MIPTV is just over a month away. This week, we're previewing the reimagined 4-day event and reveal what TV execs can expect on La Croisette in April. It's coming right up on this week's TellyCast.
My guest this week is MIPTV and MIPCOM boss Lucy Smith as we look ahead to next month's Cannes gathering. It's just a month away. Lucy, welcome back to the show.
Hi, Justin. It's great to be back on. Last time we spoke, I think, was just the closing day of MIPCOM, and I was kind of telling you about what we would be doing at MIPTV this year. So great to have an opportunity to chat a bit about it.
It's funny how quickly it comes round every year. How are preparations going for this, which is the 60th anniversary, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be the biggest MIPTV in years, which is great. I mean, MIPTV is growing again. So it's growing again in terms of the exhibition, in terms of the number of people who'll be coming to the show, coming to Cannes, probably sort of around 20%, give or take. What we're seeing is that the buyers in the industry, they really do need this spring content market to get deals done. You know, that's what we are set up to do. That's our organization. And MIPTV has that role of bringing the global marketplace to Cannes. And, we're expecting up to 100 countries to be present. And as you said, MIPTV is 60 years young, as we like to say. We're growing again. So it's kind of feels like we're in a good place. We have to think back. We only reformatted MIPTV last year, and it's paying off. We listened. We did what people had asked us to do. And, I really think we've sort of found that nice position in the market. Companies are able to come at the scale they need to come, which was the big difference. And we remain the second biggest international market in the world after MIPCOM. And the TV industry always is reinventing itself, which is what we continue to do. And we will continue to do that as time goes on, learning each time from what happened. But we said we'd change MIPTV. The changes are being well received. And we will deliver this 4 markets in one, which is building out the MIPDoc and MIP formats as the biggest week in unscripted and being the must-attend market for kids and drama with strands that are developed for those segments. And new this year, we've got a Fast and Global Summit, which is exciting. So there's a lot going on and we are very busy, as you can imagine.
Yeah, there's lots of different elements of MIPTV. And, I know it's an event that lots of international buyers and executives look forward to coming down to Cannes in April and kicking a lot of their buying patterns off. Last week, there was the London screenings, and I realised, MIPTV's evolved, hasn't it, over the years, over those 60 years, and we've obviously had COVID, which has sort of, again, changed the whole industry and the market. How are you making sure that MIPTV is relevant now in 2023 and reimagining it for essentially for a new landscape?
I agree. I mean, I think I was, obviously read a lot about London screenings, and there's always another event. I was at Kids Screen a few weeks ago myself, and it's always an opportunity. We need those markets as well to meet other people and talk about our market. London, I think the distributors have done a great job. They've done what they wanted to do, which was to create their own sort of screenings event. And I think that's the key, is it's in London and it's a screenings event in London. That's great. And we all work as a cycle together. Buyers need to go and discover new content, but they then also, need to have meetings after that to follow up. All of these events serve a purpose. When there's, a market in Cannes, what our promise is we're bringing the world to Cannes And we're set up as an organized, exhibition and marketplace where people can do their meetings. So, I mean, what we've heard a lot from buyers who are at the event and from some distributors who've also contacted us since the event to say, you know what, it was great. And I heard a lot. It sounded like it was a really great opportunity to discover all that new content. But you know what, we do still need to do more meetings to follow up. And I think that's what's important. And we make a kind of more cost-effective, organized environment to help people come and finalize those deals. And I think that that's the way those markets are going to work together. It's just another evolution that will continue to evolve, to meet the moment and make sure we're giving our clients what they need.
There's a clear difference, isn't there? London Screens is much more sort of like a linear schedule of activity, whereas at MIPTV, everybody comes together. There's the seminar activities, the buyer and seller meetings and the screenings and what have you. So it's a sort of a much different offer.
No, I agree.
Let's talk about it in a bit more detail then, in terms of this year's MIPTV. So we've got MIPDoc and MIP formats. That's running alongside MIPTV, and we're starting this year on the Sunday. Tell us a little bit about this Super Sunday, which is, I know how it's been built. Tell us a bit more about that.
So, yeah, we've really kind of embraced this sort of biggest week in unscripted, which was building out. The biggest part of this Super Sunday is MIPDoc. So we've really gone big on factual. It's the 25th MIPDoc, actually, which, as we'd said, we would bring into MIPTV. So it's all included on the same, registration. But yes, we're opening.
That's also going to be in the Palais, isn't
Absolutely.
it? Because once upon a time it was in different hotels, but everything is on site within the Palais.
Absolutely, yeah. So it's in the Palais. So on the Super Sunday, we have introduced the new international buyer screenings. So we have had a call for entries, and we had, over 80 entries coming from companies around the world of some really good high-end documentary content. And we've had a selection process, and we'll be announcing that very soon, but we'll have 10 series that are going to be screened in the Debussy Theatre, and we invite our buyers, and we invited to come in on the Saturday night. So we obviously are offering the extra night's hotel to make sure they can be in Cannes. We're kicking off the day with the opportunity for the buyers to discover the first ever Cannes Series International Documentary Series Festival, the official selection. There'll be 5 series, and that is something that we've really kind of worked on together. I mean, we've worked more and more closely with Cannes Series over time, and them launching the international competition as well for Doc really felt like the timing was right. So we're going to make that selection available exclusively for our buyers in the morning. We also have opened and reopened the MIPDoc screenings library. Now, that had been a really important key part of MIPDoc, which we had made the choice last year of making it online only. That was not what clients wanted.
Yeah, explain a little bit about what that is. I haven't come across that myself. So what is that screening library?
It's actually the same format as MIP Junior. It's something that we have created. So over the last 25 years, you have an on-site screening booths in a closed space. So we have 2 big rooms up on the 3rd floor of the Palais that will be open, and where the buyers will have individual PCs where they'll be able to watch and screen content that the distributors have put onto the library. So it's finished programs or projects looking for co-production partners. Now, that on-site screenings library opens on the Sunday morning, but it's available for the week ahead for buyers to be able to start looking and preparing, so that everybody has the opportunity to see content before then obviously carrying on doing their meetings in Cannes. But they can also stay and do other moments when they might want to screen during the week.
Right.
And the one other thing that is important to mention on that Sunday is that we'll be having an opening cocktail for the MIPDoc population, which is sponsored for the first time by Paramount Global Content Distribution, which is great. They've really got behind all of this documentary, factual part of the show. And then obviously during the week, we also have a lot of content happening for MIPDoc with a MIPDoc pitch, co-production summit, because obviously co-production's always hugely important. So yeah, that's what we're doing on the documentary side. And the other part of the Super Sunday is MIP Drama. So MIP Drama, we've evolved so that we really did feel that we were not kind of connecting with Cannes Series as much as we needed to, and it was feeling a little too separate. So what we decided this year, because we know a lot of buyers never had the opportunity, and also they're having meetings, which is what we also want them to be doing. during the show is they needed an opportunity to discover that Cannes Series official selection, which, I mean, they'll be announcing on the 28th of March. It's looking like they're going to have an incredible lineup. They just actually announced their opening series, which is an Apple TV Plus original, Silo. They're really kind of upping the game. And each year, I think the selection is better. So we're doing, for MIP Drama, on the Sunday afternoon, a preview, especially for our buyers coming in on the Sunday again.
Let's talk about exhibitors then, because I think there's quite a few regions of the world that are making a bit of a comeback to MIPTV this year. Tell us a little bit about that.
We really are back to growth, which feels great. Obviously, last year there were certain territories that couldn't attend. So part of that growth is coming from China, APAC. So we have the big Chinese pavilion and some other companies coming back and some buyers. Also Japan, Korea, Australia, Philippines, India, Hong Kong. And that means it's not just the exhibitors, but, Japan, Korea, and China, for example, do really great format showcases. Korea also have a scripted showcase because obviously these are great territories where you don't know what new content you can discover. We've got a lot of new exhibitors at the show, either who are back after an absence or new to the market. So some of those new exhibitors include Fox, which is great, Fox Entertainment, who came back and had their debut at MIPCOM, Viaplay, Filmrise, Blue Ant, Dick Clark. All of those great Turkish distributors have got exhibits this year, and the Japanese, and great new pavilion as well. We've got the Italian APA, which is the Audiovisual Producers Association, who are representing about 40 plus Italian companies, as well as, the Turkish pavilion, KOKA, which is the Korean pavilion. So a lot of territories and sort of growth coming from different markets where new exhibitors. And on the exhibits overall, I mean, there's some great participation, obviously, from major territories and major companies with, Paramount and Warner Bros. Discovery, Media One, Studio Canal, Beta, A&E, I mean, Media Pro. It's a really great, very, complete list of international studios from around the world who are back in Cannes for this MIPTV.
It's going to be really interesting to see all of those APAC regions coming back for the first time in 4 years, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, a lot of those countries haven't been represented, so it'll be really interesting to see how that stimulates the market.
Yeah.
We've got, an increase in exhibition stands, and the bunker's open again, I believe.
Now, the bunker has been reclaimed, redesigned, and it is now Le Boulevard. And it really does link the entrance of the Palais right through, and it's been redesigned right up to Riviera 7. So it's Le Boulevard, and it'll be a lot more dynamic. There are a lot of stands now in that space, as well as two of our lounges. So a MIPTV networking lounge. We've got a dedicated kids lounge, as well as an important conference room, which will host the FAST Summit and also some other talks. And we're doing a pilot project with a new speed matchmaking for producers, for example. And we've got a whole networking space there as well. So that's going to be a really cool dynamic.
The bunker's going to be the boulevard.
Le Boulevard.
The boulevard, yeah. That's going to feel quite integral, isn't it, by the sounds of it, to the actual event. Whereas before, obviously, it's either been booked out as, lots of different countries in the old format that we're familiar with. But this time it sounds like there's going to be lots of opportunities for people to hang out and network and relax in there, as well as doing meetings and exhibitor spaces as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think, what we're really trying to do is and I think, we've seen this with the different spaces we've designed differently and opened up with more opportunities for, those people-to-people meetings. You've got somewhere to sit. You do not have to go out across the road to Cafe Roma for your meetings. You can be in the Palais. There is, wherever you are in the Palais, you're never far from, whether it be an exhibitor, a conference, a meeting table. And that's what we're trying to do, is really make sure that there's spaces for everyone. And for example, in another networking area we've always used is that Riviera 8. We've made that into a MIP.MIP formats producers hub and lounge, which is going to be fantastic across the sea view, and there's conference and event space as well. So, it's really about making sure that, participants will have spaces for their meetings. You've got a great exhibition halls with really making sure the traffic feels good. You're getting the flow of people. We've got a buyers club as well in the Le Boulevard Hall. Yeah, there's a lot of really cool new ways for us to show how we're redesigning and making this even more comfortable and user-friendly for all of our participants.
You talked earlier on, just touched on a couple of new initiatives that's happening at MIPTV, and one of those is the Fast and Global Summit. You know, we talked about the way that MIPTV's adapted to, you know, and the way the market's landscape has changed over the last few years. And obviously, we've seen the emergence of Fast, and we've seen how important it is for a lot of distribution businesses. Give us a bit of an insight into what people can expect at this Fast and Global Summit.
I agree. I think that, you know, what we're seeing is really a great opportunity for the distribution market. I mean, it's the biggest sort of evolution is this explosion of fast and, you know, the fast channels all over the world. So it really does make sense for, you know, MIPTV to be where you would come for this sort of the need for the global development, because obviously it's been very much a US growth market to start with, but now we really need to go global. So what we're doing is putting on a Fast Summit where we've been working. We've got a lot of sponsors who've, you know, supporting this with Amagi, Ocas, Vice Media, Vivo World. So all, you know, offering different aspects to the whole Fast landscape. And the program it's incredible the number of companies who've been in contact. I mean, I'm getting messages on LinkedIn as well as the emails, the conference team, just everyone wanting to get involved in this because there's so much. It's such a great new area to develop new business. So some of the speakers include Banijay, Rakuten TV, All 3 Media, Fremantle, Pluto, Samsung TV Plus, and we could go on. And we've got some great hosts and moderators working with us. So, I mean, I think a lot of people will have followed the Variety Intelligence platform. Gavin Bridge did great surveys and analysis of that sort of fast market. So we're putting together a half day, and we're really seeing this as it was a growth area, and let's see what we can do, what we can also learn about what people need for that. And we'll be taking that forward in a much bigger way for MIPCOM as well in October. I mean, the demand, we haven't been able to be frank, we've not been able to cater to everyone's demand, but then there's still a lot of companies who'll be coming and being part of it, but they don't get to necessarily, get on stage where they may have wanted to. But we believe that that's a really important area to help. You know, again, it's always about following and accompanying the industry's growth areas, and this is one of them.
Fast is certainly on everybody's lips, I think. And as you say, you know, in the States, it's really developing, and, you know, I think it's 9/10 of the market is actually over there, but it's moving over to Europe, and the popularity of fast channels is growing and growing. It's a really interesting time for that whole market. There's also some keynotes that I cast my eye over. One of our old friends on TellyCast, Evan Shapiro, is doing a keynote. What's he going to be talking about, Lucy?
He's been carrying out some new research that he's going to come and present. I think we all know his incredible graphic
cartography.
Thank you, cartography. I knew I was going to get that word wrong, but yeah, absolutely, which is just great. So he's going to be doing some new research. I know he's out at South by Southwest right now, working on and talking to everyone. We partnered on this new research that we'll actually sort of communicate and share together. And I think what's really interesting is always getting, you know, we get those sort of keynotes who are really going to be talking about how, you know, what their strategies are, and they're setting their strategies, and then having somebody who's going to come and kind of challenge and talk about how, you know, how he might see the world a bit differently. We've also asked him to join the Future of Kids TV Summit, because there, you know, it's all about looking to the future, and, you know, who better than Evan Shapiro to do that with us.
Well, he certainly gives everybody pause for thought and really wakes everybody up in terms of what's coming down the track, or potentially what's coming down the track, making everybody perhaps wake up to the opportunities or the threats as well in the industry, because we obviously know we're in turbulent times at the moment. It's going to continue for a little while. Yeah. And there's also going to be a bit of a birthday celebration, I believe, for MIPTV's 60th.
Totally. On the Monday evening, we're going to be having an opening party and a birthday bash actually in the Majestic Hotel. We've got actually a partner who's going to be joining us for that, which is Motion in Pictures. We're coming to promote a new format, which is really exciting because obviously there's a lot going on around formats at MIPTV. So yeah, it'll be a big birthday party, and we're kind of developing that. I'm actually off to Cannes and then a couple of days this week to go and see our sister show MIPIM, which is the huge property shows happenings, and do some hotel visits, because I think you will have seen that Cannes is also developing and doing some exciting things. The Carlton has just reopened after its big refurbishment. The Grand Hotel has just reopened as the Mondrian. That was new. That was a surprise, which just opened this week as well. So we're in the Majestic because it really works for what we want to do this time for the party. But there's a lot of exciting things in Cannes as well.
It'll be interesting to see, because I remember the Splendid as well, which was right in the centre of Cannes. That whole area was getting developed at MIPCOM, wasn't it? The whole plaza area outside Cafe Roma and all along that boulevard there. I wonder how that's shaping up.
Well, from what I understand, and as I said, I'll discover this in the next couple of days, is that that has now been finished and apparently is looking great. But there are still works going on further up the Croisette, because everything's being modernised in Cannes, which, it's a bit of a pain going through the works. We all know that. But it really is for a good cause. I think it's going to be fantastic when it's all finished.
Lucy, looking forward to seeing all of that and being at MIPTV again in a few weeks' time. Just to refresh everybody's minds on the dates of MIPTV this year. It kicks off on Super Sunday, the 16th of April, and it goes right through to Wednesday, doesn't it?
Yep, correct. It's running Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday will be the full exhibition and everybody there. And, I hope that, I've described a kind of exciting and dynamic MIPTV for its 60th anniversary. I think it's, more relevant than ever at the right time of the year. Companies are signing up every day, and it's not too late. I hope people want to get on a plane or a train and join us in Cannes for this incredible 60th anniversary edition.
It certainly, I think, has got the broadest programme that I've seen from MIPTV for a long time. So looking forward to experiencing all of that on the Croisette. Lucy, thanks very much for joining us as usual. I'll see you in about 4 weeks' time in Cannes.
I will look forward to it, Justin, and thanks a lot for inviting me on again to chat with you about MIPTV.
Well, that's about it for this week's TellyCast MIPTV preview show. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please share it with friends and colleagues. And don't forget to check out TellyCast's sister brand, dropmedia.co.uk, for all of your digital-first news. This week's show was recorded in London and edited by Ian Chambers. Next week, I'm in Lille at the Series Mania Forum with some of the world's leading drama execs to find out how the world of scripted is shaping up in 2023. Until then, stay safe.